In this video we're going to look at the Sooners running their GT out of 20 personnel sets. I know we've touched on this subject quite a bit, but we're just going to focus on 20 personnel sets. We'll get some other videos of them in 21 and 10 personnel sets, but right here when you look at it, they got two backs in the backfield, and still the base rules, all we're saying is, hey, front side back, you're blocking the alley, you're blocking the D-gap, so right there he's going to fill the D-gap, so he's trying to kick right there, put his play side shoulder on him. Same typical rules you'd have on the GT. Right here he's got inside gap to backside linebacker. He's got first down him in front side. He is first down him in backside, right, cutting off so that he can't squeeze down and make a play on the back. Quarterback's got to take care of the C-gap if there are two guys backside, so right here you're going to have to read that C-gap and that rush. Tailback, he's going to turn his shoulders and get flat. He's reading his first kick right there. If he's going to kick, he's going to get vertical. If he logs that and he pins that, he's going to roll into that C-gap and get vertical. On this, it's pretty obvious. You got this guy coming to kick the alley, so he's got to go up to the safety right there to take care of that. And then they're right there. Obviously, backside going to try to cut off the safety, leave that corner, the furthest guy from the ball, to try to chase and make a play. And right there, we'll look at a few clips of these guys running GT out of 20 personnel. This play right here against TCU, against the typical three front, is a really good look. Pretty much prototypical as far as fitting it up with what shoulder you're trying to hit those guys with, and how you're able to kick and lead and wrap and all that stuff. So right here, as you can see, three front, receiver's going up to the safety. He's going to kick the alley right there, put your play side shoulder. He's got inside gap to backside linebacker. He slides into the big gap right here, and he slants to that. So you got to take that. You're down blocking, never going to pass up color on your track. He's got to go down to the nose. He's going all the way back to that 4 or 5 technique right there. So right there, he gives a little bit of a hand because he knows he's got a long ways to go, and he's able to cut that guy off right there. Pretty decent down block here by the left guard. All right, hat right there in the V of the neck. He's getting that hand on the hip, then he's going to roll his hips upfield so he can't roll back to it. So since this defensive end ran the B gap, all right, first puller's got the C gap, and obviously this linebacker's going to have to fill that to take the C gap. And you see him come downhill really quickly. So right there he knows, hey, I'm going to try to put my play side shoulder kick right there, and here's the tackle that's pulling right there for the wrap. And he puts his backside shoulder. Probably don't want to grab right there, but right there he gets there, and you can see that little jab step. They almost coach this up to give him a little bit of timing. You can see that right foot, basically a false step, but they teach that so that they can get timing and they can read this guard's block as opposed to being too tight to him and getting caught up with him. So right there, kick on that linebacker, and he's leading on the backside right there. Right here's the running back fitting up on that alley player that's coming down to the C gap, and kicks right there. Now the running back's running right there. You can see, obviously, gets his shoulders turned. He's reading if he's going to get a kick, or if this guy's maybe going to squeeze down, he can pin that and just roll into that C or D gap right there. But right there you see it's a kick, so now he knows he's getting vertical behind those guys and playing with momentum, getting downhill and creating a big play there for the Sooners. Here's the same set, same play against Baylor later in the year, and you can see right here he's going to go to the alley, kicking right there, going up to the safety. First down and inside to backside linebacker again with that three front, probably going to be that end if he's in a tight 4-eye, whatever you want to say. He's got the nose, first element backside right there. Obviously, he can give a hand. He's C-gap, and he's wrapping in for whatever show. Obviously, this tackle could be this backside linebacker, could be frontside linebacker, kind of depending on how this defensive end plays. But right here, we'll play it, see what takes place. So right there, again, that defensive end and that three front trying to take 2 for 1. Trying to hold up the guard, trying to do all that stuff. That tackle's going to have to down block, stay on right there. Strong outside hand, try to put him into that gap so then he can come and kick. This linebacker's going to set that C gap. He's going to set right there, so that backside tackle is going to take him. And obviously right here, this play side running back, he's going right there trying to kick that outside backer that's setting the edge. And right here you can see he comes to balance, puts that play side shoulder on him, tries to roll those hips. All right, right here there's a little bit of a problem on this. So you can see this play side tackle. He gets beat right here. He sheds him, gets to the outside. The guard gets to his guy. This backside tackle has to take the man that got beat right there. So this is the guy he should be wrapping for, but instead he has to take that DN because the tackle got shed. So now you got a free backer right there running the alley, trying to run him down, but right there he bounces it. And obviously those guys are shedding blocks, trying to outrun him, get to that spot, and they end up tackling him for about a 3 or 4 yard gain. But you can see exactly what they were trying to do. It wasn't executed as well as the last play that we saw, but right here you can see that the angles were there. Everything should be good, especially if that tackle goes vertical right there. That defensive end right there is pinned. should be able to go vertical. Those guys are kicked out, so it should be an inside run. But right there, has to bounce it. Wasn't the greatest play, wasn't the best execution, but you can see the angles and what they're trying to do. Here's a look right here of Iowa State fitting up the GT right here at a 2-back. This tackle thinks that since this guy's in a 5 technique right here, he's going to be able to get to that backside linebacker. And as you play it, you can see he is fighting and he is ripping over their front side to keep those guys from being able to get up to the linebackers. So he ends up getting into that B gap. Right there's the linebacker playing tight off of that. Here's the guy going to rotate over the top. All right, so you need to get a kick from the guard, get a lead right there from the tackle, and right there blocking the alley. Really good job here by the alley player for Iowa State. He knows, he sees the down block, so he's filling in right there, and he is extremely aggressive. He brings the fight to that guy. That running back never gets his hips unloaded. You can see he's stunned right there because he's not ready for that thing to come so quickly. Blows him up right there, puts him back into the alley that they're trying to run to, and everybody else is able to fit it up. Just because that alley is squeezed down so much, you don't want to allow that alley to be wide. So he squeezes it down, is aggressive, beats the running back to extending his hips, and he blows him up right there and condenses that alley. Running back has to go vertical because the edge is set, and everybody else is able to fit that up. But obviously, having good players, he bounces off of a tackle and is able to get about 5+ yards right there and stay in front of the sticks, even though Iowa State did a really good job of fitting this up. Squeezing down, condensing that alley that typically they're trying to run through. But right there again, you got to finish the play. Running back bounces off and keeps them in front of the sticks on a 1st and 10. This is a look here against Texas, where I believe this play side tackle right here, they're running GT to the right. Gets a little confused, doesn't quite go through his path, and you can see right here as it's played, he's stepping down like he's got that inside gap. This end actually ends up in the C gap. Right there you can see he doesn't want to have to turn back. He should just keep his shoulders square and work right to that backside linebacker. He gets a kick or a log either way, and he wraps right there. Here, this guy's coming to kick, and right there, because he turned back, it jumbled everything up for everybody else. You can see he's not in a good spot. His hips and his base is not right to take on a guy that's in the C gap from his initial steps, so that's getting condensed, pushing it back into all these pullers. Should be right there on that backer, so you can get a good kick or log. Either way, those guys are going to have their hips and they're going to have their feet more ready than this tackle is, because right here he's getting just whooped and pushed back, and it's jumbling all this up, knocking guys off where they're not able to do their job. So right there you can see tackle's a little bit off as far as his track, and then his hips and his feet and everything were off because he was trying to fight a C-gap player when he was stepping towards that B gap. Should just continue on to that backer. The Sooners really liked this formation against Oklahoma State this past year, and they did their GT a few different ways. Right here on this one is their typical GT. So again, Oklahoma State's in the forefront, and they're running GT to the right. So you have your fullback right here to the backside, and they actually just have him go C gap to take care of the defensive end. Right here again, you're going first down on the backside, should be right there. He's got the A gap. He's got the B gap, so they may double that to the backside linebacker, pulling to kick, pulling to wrap, all that stuff. We'll play it real quick, take a look. Obviously in the pistol, quarterback takes it. He's going to reach his feet play side so that he can read backside right there if he has to read the C gap. So right there, clearing the midline, reaching play side. Running back gets his play side arm up, and right there he's going to roll back into that side that he wants. So right here you can see as it's played, they're getting a double team right there, working to the backer. He's coming to kick, and right there, pretty aggressive defensive end right there, getting vertical. Got to try to get there as quick as you can to get a piece of him before he can get in there and make a play on that mesh. Right there, they're able to kick him. He slides into that alley right there with that tackle leading in right there. So looks like a really good play right here, but Oklahoma State obviously getting all blocks. Doesn't look good for him right there, but obviously, again, good running back, good player is going to get vertical, and that's what he does right there. Makes a couple guys miss, gets about 9. But right there, just a different way to do it, kind of a different set, doing it out of the pistol. And right there, an aggressive defensive end almost gets into the play, gets just enough of them to run through an arm tackle, and now you kind of got your numbers out there in a body for a body, and they're able to make a pretty decent play. From that last clip, you can definitely tell that these defensive ends from Oklahoma State were extremely aggressive, and what you can see right here is as soon as they end up basing this defensive end, which is one of our favorite calls, is to just base that defensive end so that he can't dictate squeeze or pin, whichever one they want to do for that play or that week. So right here you can see he bases that defensive end. He's got the nose. He's got the first down and backside. Ends up walking the backer down, turning to the forefront, so he just takes him. The pullers here, first puller is going to get the number 1 linebacker in the box. Second puller is going to get number 2 linebacker in the box. Running back right here, or the sniffer, he's going to go to the C-gap, take care of the C-gap player right there. And again, running out of the pistol, you got to tell the quarterback, hey, we got to reach front side, we got to reach play side, and the running back's got to get his play side arm up, go straight downhill, and he's going to bend back in behind those guards. And right here, as we play it, you can see they base him. He goes out to the C gap. He's rolling right there. He's widening that alley. Not a great down block right there. Just got to stay with him and try to run with him. This guard ends up having to clean it up. There's a tackle filling in for whatever shows up, and it's the play side linebacker. But you can see why they decide they want to base that end. They're real aggressive. Almost got in on the play on the last GT. So base them. And that's what they do right there. Not really well executed as far as the down blocks and everything. But obviously these pullers, if it's not perfect, don't pass up color. Take on color and let our guy get vertical for a positive gain. That's what they do right. Gets the running back's momentum going downhill, and then he's able to do what he does as a running back, get an extra 2 or 3 yards after contact. Here's another look of this same set, running the GT base right here. And again, those defensive ends early in the game were being real aggressive on the GT, so let's just base those guys. Play side guard, you got the nose, first element front side, so he's right there down blocking. First element backside, going backside. Obviously, when his linebacker shows up, he wants to take it, don't pass up color. This running back right here is blocking C-gap, wrapping for the first backer in the box right here. They end up not taking this linebacker that's walked down into the gap, so he ends up taking him, and he's pulling for whatever to clean up. So right here again, pistol, reaching front side with the quarterback, place that arm up for the running back, and they're making a play right there, getting downhill, getting in behind those pullers, and letting the big guys do work. So right there, the guard gets cut, and you can see there's the base that opens up that alley. That is a big alley right there to run through. You got a linebacker right there. He understands, hey, this guard, this is not a great matchup for me to take this guy on high, so he ends up cutting and trying to create a pile. And then there's the tackle filling in right there to clean up. Running back, you can see his read right here, what he sees. The center hangs a little bit on this nose too long. He needs to get backside. We don't want to hang up to there too long. And right here, that forces this running back to bounce that direction as opposed to being able to get into the alley where everything else is being led to. But right there, you can see the center, which obviously probably the best center in the nation. He hangs on that nose a little bit too long. You can give a hand, but you need to get there so that this guy feels comfortable to get front side. That end is extremely aggressive, just like we saw on that first clip right there with the GT, and he gets into his face, and now the running back has to cut that direction instead of getting front side. In some more videos, we'll look at some different ways that they run GT out of different sets, and we really like to do it out of 20 personnel. You can motion these guys back to 20 personnel. You can do a lot of different things to allow these guys to not stay stagnant, but then also get back to the GT and your base plays, make the defense to communicate, and will help to keep them from being able to just lock their cleats in the ground and play the GT like they typically would.